Thank you, Chair. Advocate Johnson, before we broke for tea, or we actually broke for tea slightly earlier, to give you an opportunity to consider whatever documents are at your disposal to answer the question why it is, as at the 3rd of April 2025, as per the Section 28 summons we're looking at, CJC 392.2, you authorized that documentation be sought and obtained regarding promotions of the commanders and members of the political killings task team. And particularly Commissioner Baloyi referred you to specific points in the ad hoc transcript where you dealt with the issue, the matter of PKTT. I trust that you've been able to go through whatever documentation you considered necessary and are able to provide an answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. I didn't have any other documents, but I sought to refresh my memory by engaging with the people who would have provided this document to me and for what conversations we would have had around this. And just to clarify that when I spoke to the project manager and to Mr. Padiachi, they both have confirmed that we are not investigating a matter against the PKTT, exactly as I recalled it, having seen the statement yesterday. I wanted clarification as well so that it doesn't look like I'm running away from something. In terms of the Annexure B, commissioners, I indicated that the information that I would have got from there, I would either have obtained from Mr. Padiachi, Mr. Perumal, or both. I called Mr. Padiachi, and Mr. Padiachi indicated that I didn't get that information from him, and I also read more particularly paragraph 6, and he indicated that this subpoena was prepared by Mr. Perumal. I did try to call Mr. Perumal, it is on my call log, but he's not answering his phone, simply because I'm unable to give the commission a proper and meaningful answer without engaging him on why this was there. What feedback did he give me in order for me to have approved or to have signed it? Commissioner
Can I
Khumalo.
ask a more direct question?
Yes, sir.
Looking at these documents, speaking for myself, it looks like there was a hidden hand driving IDEX investigations into crime intelligence and PKTT. And the question is who and what is that hidden hand? Because this is not Mr. Adams's complaint. We've established that.
Correct.
So where do all these things come from? I mean, if you just look at that entire Annexure B, this is not Mr. Adams's complaint, not just item 6, but going into why Jacobs doesn't want to come back, going into performance assessments of all major generals from 2022, 2023, not just Jacobs or Khumalo, if that was the issue, why Jacobs doesn't want to come back, of all generals, of all provincial heads, of all section heads. This is a much broader investigation into crime intelligence and quite clearly all members of PKTT. Who was driving this? Because it's clearly not Mr. Adams. This is not Mr. Adams's complaint. This is now something else altogether.
I hear you, Commissioner. And
does it look that way to you too? Because I could be completely wrong. Let's be fair. I could be way off the mark. It's my observation, and it could be 100% wrong. You sitting there now looking at this, what does it look like to you?
So, I hear, Commissioner, and I'm not saying that your conclusion may not be wrong when you read it as you read it. I'm saying I am briefed on this matter by a chief investigator, and the investigators conduct the investigations. At the time I signed this, I have nothing within my knowledge to gainsay the authenticity or the truth of what is being put to me. However, in the manner that it comes forward, and given the fact that I've also indicated I have not seen an investigation and we don't have one into the political killings task team, the project manager who sits with all of the documentation confirms the same, as does Mr. Padiachi. The question that I am unable to answer for you is why this?
But you knew that there's a section 27 and you would have seen it at the latest, according to you, in mid-December, earliest sometime in November. And that should be the genesis of all the investigations IDEC is conducting. Now, assuming that that is the starting point, now look at item 1 to item 8 of this annexure to the summons that you issued in your name or that you signed on behalf of IDEC. What does it look like to you? Just looking at, bearing in mind that your starting point is your section 27, which you have seen. Just look at this and draw an inference if you must, because you are not the investigator and you don't know who they are talking to and what that person is saying to them. But you know that they must be guided by the section 27. And then they bring this to you. Now you look at it, what does it look like?
That they must be guided, Commissioner Kumalo, by the section 27, the A1, additional A1, which we now see yesterday is different in most regards.
Looking at this annexure B, if you had to draw an inference, what would that inference be?
That the investigator had other information.
Or other motives, or they were conducting other investigations that had nothing to do with Mr. Adams's complaint.
Or the A1 or the supplementary, yes.
And it begs the question, who was driving this? And what was the motive? Commissioner Baloy's question on Thursday, what was IDEC's motive? Was there political interference? Was there infiltration? Because those are the answers this commission must ask. It's great that we are looking at facts, but facts point to individual cases where things went wrong. What is the big picture? Is it political interference? Is it infiltration of IDEC by unknown people? Is it a hidden hand that we don't see in any of these documents? Those are the questions we must ask ourselves.
And the best person to answer would be the person who drew up this document and indicate the basis on which he lay for these documents.
No, I don't think that's right. No, that's not right. The best person to answer is the person that authorizes the summons. I think your investigators may well be entitled to put to you whatever they have gathered. You are the final decision maker. You're the one that asks the questions. You're the one that approves. And so you would have satisfied yourself that there is a valid basis for that inquiry into PKTT promotions of commanders and members. You would have satisfied yourself. Otherwise, if you were not satisfied with his explanations, you would have said, as a responsible leader who's exercising their power within the law and for the purpose for which it is given, you would have said, no, I'm not approving that. We are not doing 6. Take it out and bring me back as someone that speaks to why we are doing this investigation. You would have done that. So no, it's not available to you to say the person who prepared answers. You are the one that must answer. Why did you approve? Maybe he was taking a chance with you. You know, maybe he was, Perumal, maybe he was acting on the instruction of a hidden hand, as Commissioner Kumalo suggests. There are many maybes why he would have done that, but you are the last person to speak on this, you are the last person, you are the one that approves. And you must have satisfied yourself that this is a legitimate line of inquiry. Well, I'm putting to you the position. Do you hear? And do you accept? You must accept that.
I accept the position.
Yes.
And that is why I had wanted clarification, because I couldn't independently, Chair, recollect
Yes.
the basis for the explanation. Where I
Yes.
have to agree with Commissioner Khumalo, not that I don't agree with you, Commissioner Baloy, is the questions that he asks. I'm unfortunately unable to answer because I'm not aware of a political motive. But I cannot shy away from, there might have been a hidden hand in how this played itself out and what was given to me and how it was given to me. There has to be some other explanation for why this takes place.
And can we agree, and I know you hadn't seen these supplementary affidavits, so that I'm not displacing that. But the one supplementary affidavit that you hadn't seen until yesterday that speaks to the PKTT, you find it at 3493. You've gone through that at paragraph 3. Can we agree that even that paragraph 3 could not be a basis for the request at paragraph 7 of your summons, because it says nothing about commanders and members of PKTT. It in fact says funds were used from the Secret Service Fund to purchase resources for the PKTT. That's an accusation or allegation that is not and can never be the basis for the inquiry at page 7, or the documents that you're asking for rather at paragraph 7 of your summons. Can we agree that?
That we agree.
You agree that? Okay.
Advocate, at the time you signed this document, which was in April last year, surely you already knew that the Minister Mchunu, had written a letter in terms of which he purported to disband the PKTT. Or maybe let me say he purported to disband or disbanded the PKTT. I'm using both because at this stage, we as commissioners have not decided whether the power to disband vests in him or in the National Commissioner. We are yet to decide that. So I will use both because we are yet to decide that legal question. But is it not so that at the time you signed this document, you were already aware that the PKTT had been disbanded or purportedly disbanded?
If it was in the media at that time, I would have been aware. But I haven't had engagements in that regard. I think the full import and detail thereof came in after the 6th July briefing, and that magnified what was going on. If it was in the media space, yes, I would have most certainly known that that is what was being discussed.
Perhaps what we will do then is to check if it was not in the media, because that's something that's relatively easy to do. Now, if you were already aware, you would probably also be aware that that disbandment or purported disbandment was controversial.
Correct.
And that being the case, surely then, mention of the PKTT in the manner in which it is mentioned, a generalized investigation of all PKTT members should have raised curiosity in your mind, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And that would have been a basis for you to look more closely as to why the PKTT was included
In the summons.
in the years.
Correct.
Yes. Which, if that be so, I have to ask this in this manner because you have said if it was out there in the media. So if that were the case, that should reinforce the point made by Commissioner Baloyi, which is basically that you should be able to answer why you still signed this despite the fact that it was making reference to the PKTT, when at no stage there was a reference before. And I say there was no reference because what is at 3493 does not relate to what is in the summons, insofar as PKTT is concerned. Would you accept that suggestion? All right, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. From your responses then,
Sorry, Mr.
Yes.
May we request you and Mr. Bodlani, together with those assisting you, to please engage in the exercise of finding out whether the issue of the disbandment of the PKTT was not out there before Lieutenant General Mkwanazi's public statement on the 6th of July last year.
I think from my recollection, it was out there by beginning of the year,
Should have
after
been.
the 2nd of January,
Should have been.
2025, the letter disbanding.
Can I assist the two of you? Even if it was not in January, remember in March, there was a parliamentary engagement where General Mkwanazi, among others, addressed the ad hoc, I think it's the police committee, not the full parliament. And arising out of that, there was media coverage of that. So at least in March, it was a topical issue.
I fully agree with Commissioner Kumalo. And it would have, the newspapers and press would have been replete with comments regarding PKTT by the 6th of July. So I doubt anyone in the country could say that they only learned of it on the 6th.
Yes. Thank you very much. May I just get something concrete, which I want to again engage Advocate Johnson about? Because once faced with that, you would have to answer, Advocate, why in the face of that controversy, you did not focus your mind on this, because you appear not to have done so. So with the concrete information in my hand, I want to revisit this question with Advocate Johnson.
We shall do so, Chair. If I understand, then the instruction is that we do sort of a press scan and to see what was publicly available and out there.
Please.
On the matter. We shall do so.
Thank you very much.
Chair.
We shall oblige, Chair.
Thank you.
Advocate Johnson, based on the responses you have provided, in particular,
Just a minute, and I hope and pray Advocate Johnson will not say, that appears in this, in items from this media house. No, I don't read that. No, I don't watch those TV channels. And so I just hope and pray that won't be your escape route.
No,
Advocate.
and
Thank
please
you.
don't put me at war with any of the media houses. I read media.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Chair.
thank you.
thank you, Chair. I go back to the response I think you gave to Commissioner Baloyi, wherein you attempted to shift the responsibility of the contents of the Section 28 to the investigators. And my challenge is, Colonel Padiachi indicated that he conducted a full-blown investigation into the Mokwele appointment in circumstances where he had not even seen the Section 27 referral. You, on the other hand, had seen this Section 27 referral. You made a decision on it, and you determined that a Section 2813 preparatory investigation be initiated. So between the two of you, you being the ID and the investigator, clearly you have more knowledge as to what the original referral was about. And it's your responsibility, I dare say, to ensure that should either malice, improper conduct, or simple human error find reflection in the Section 28 summons, that the institution has to depend on you to determine that those errors and issues of malice are dealt with and taken out of the summons. For the simple reason that if not for your signature, certain things won't be done. If not for your signature, there will not be a basis to demand from the National Commissioner, as the summons do, that all appointments. So I have a difficulty in your answer, the effect of which would suggest you are the least powerful person in the institution, when in the converse, you are the most powerful person. Alternatively, it suggests that you don't bother to read what your investigators tell you and ask of you. Having put forward the very two propositions, I personally reject them. And my proposition is you knew exactly what was happening when that item 6 was included and for what purpose. You were not blindsided by that, you knew. And I support Commissioner Baloi's question. What were you trying to achieve by the inclusion of item 6, investigating the PKTT?
Chair, as I indicated, I was not aware of an investigation into the PKTT. I've made sure I've checked with those who are the custodians of the documents, that if I missed something, the project manager would at the very least have been able to refresh my mind and indicate, ID, we actually do have an investigation and this is what it is. And it is not to absolve me of anything. It was to find out then, how did this come about? What was put to me in order for me to have authorized it? Hence my phone call to Mr. Peramal. I seek not to absolve myself, chairs and council. I wanted clarity because I independently cannot recollect what the questions and the conversation would have been around that specific point.
Advocate Silo,
yes.
please help me. The documents 3373.
3373.
All the way to 3383. Did you get them from IDEC? How did they land in this file? Because these are performance assessments of PKTT, not employment issues, just general performance. Some of these documents we would have seen before, investigation and prosecution of politically related cases from 2018 to 2022. The information notes relating to PKTT. If IDEC was not investigating PKTT, where do these documents come from?
The pages that Commissioner Khumalo has just referred me to are part of CJC 392.2. For the record, the documents marked CJC 392, the entire 392, with all its sub-exhibits, was obtained from IDEC pursuant to either a subpoena or a written request from us. What we, as the commission, added to that file 9 is CJC 394.
So, Advocate Johnson, it cannot be correct then to say IDEC was not investigating PKTT, because if you take it from 3373 all the way to 3383, those are all PKTT documents. And IDEC can only obtain these documents if IDEC is conducting an investigation into the PKTT. That must follow.
Yes, and that must follow then from that item 6. I would assume that was on the subpoena.
So whoever told you that IDEC was not investigating the PKTT cannot be correct, because the performance report, this is not even employment-related issues. The information here is how many cases PKTT is dealing with, how many are under investigation, how many are in court, how many are withdrawn, how many are finalized, how many suspects are in custody, how many are convicted, how many are on bail. I'm on 3377. So all that information relates to the activities of the PKTT as a unit.
That is correct, Commissioner Kumalo, and then it conflicts in any event with what is asked in point 6 of the summons.
Advocate Johnson, you could not possibly have signed the summons that we are discussing without having gone through it line by line, sentence by sentence. Am I correct?
Correct, Chair.
Now, if that be the case, especially regard being held to the fact that you say IDEC was not investigating the PKTT, on what basis, having read paragraph 6 of this, of Annexure B, on what basis would we have authorized paragraph 6 of this document? And the answer, let me upfront say, cannot lie in whatever briefing you may have been given. It cannot lie there. So on what basis would we have authorized paragraph 6 of the summons?
Again, Chair, and not to be obstinate, I really rely on what I rely on a briefing. What I'm saying is, I would have asked questions about this. I need to engage Perima. What did we talk about this? And for this to land here, for me to have attested my signature. I was able to explain the other things, including about Jacobs. I'm unable to give Chair a reasonable explanation.
You are stating what IDEC was not investigating in the past tense. So I understand that to mean that even at the time you signed the summons, that was your understanding. PKTT is not being investigated, correct? It is exactly for that reason that I say to you, the answer for authorizing paragraph 6 cannot lie in a briefing that you might have been given. It cannot. That briefing would have been irrelevant to what was being investigated, correct?
Correct.
Now, if it were irrelevant, paragraph 6 would also have been irrelevant in terms of what you required for purposes of your investigation, correct?
Correct, sir.
Now it must follow automatically then that you ought not to have authorized paragraph 6 of the summons, correct?
I agree with the Chair.
Yeah. So are you able to explain then? Because again, I repeat, the briefing is totally irrelevant. On what basis then did you authorize paragraph 6 of the summons?
I don't have an explanation for you, Chair. Not from just my reading of it. And exactly what I say is, and I really don't want to frustrate you and be going
No,
in
no, no.
circles. That's not my.
Sorry. I will let you answer and say everything you want to say. I just want to say, I assure you I'm not going to be frustrated. Please go ahead.
Thank you. It just, for me, sometimes it is the context that triggers why I did something. I'm reading it as I read it.
Yes.
And as irritating as it may be, I do need the context of what was discussed between Mr. Perumal and I. In the absence thereof, I have no explanation for you, Chair, given that I have indicated that we had no investigation against the PKTT.
Yeah, based on the discussion that you and I have just had, do you think that context could ever change the picture? Because you say you've agreed with me that whatever briefing you might have been given would have been irrelevant to what was being investigated for the simple reason that you were not investigating the PKTT. So I do not understand how context, as you put it, could have been relevant to the question as to why you authorized paragraph 6. If the briefing could not be relevant, how could this context be relevant? Or let me ask it this way, maybe we will go quicker that way.
Sorry.
Just like the briefing would have been irrelevant, something you've agreed to, I suggest to you that the context as well would have been irrelevant. Do you agree? Surely you must.
I agree. I can't take this point any further. I'm not going to get to a reasonable explanation.
Yes.
For this.
Yes. So that, in a sense, ties in with Kumalo's, I'm very sorry, with Commissioner Kumalo's point that isn't what is behind all of this some inarticulate premise that we have not been told about? Isn't that the real explanation? Sandy. Do you want to please respond?
I didn't even see him accept your apology, Chair. No, I took the point. I took the point.
Thank you.
Are you, before you leave this annexure, I wanted to deal with the Public Service Commission report of August 2023. If you're going to deal with it, I'm going to.
No, I'm just going to make comments regarding the PKTT, but we are still in that annexure. By the annexure, we're talking section 28 summons.
They are all part of.
And the responses there too.
They are part of CJC 3922.
Yes, which would have been the documents received pursuant to that summons.
Yes.
Yes.
So then let me leave it and then.
No, I'm still on PKTT for now. As soon as, and when I'm done, then perhaps, Commissioner, you may.
But if you're going to deal with it.
No,
there's
I
need for
wasn't,
this to
my time pressure. My issue is, and having listened to your interaction with the commissioners, this is where we land. You, the person who authorized this section 28, have absolutely no recollection why it is you authorized investigations into the PKTT and how its members are appointed and the like. You suggest that it's Mr. Perumal who would have told you. Once again, I ask you, when should Mr. Perumal be sitting where you are and be confronted with the same question? And he says, I have absolutely no recollection. What do you suggest the commissioners make of all this?